is
Up.
How do you say up in Spanish?
Arriba.
Arriba. All right.
¿Qué pasó? Arriba.
Right?
Homie.
Fucking up. Whatever, it's close enough.
Yeah.
This is the SFU podcast number
28. Ooh. I was just
What
going
is
to say,
it?
I thought it was 27.
No,
It's
Mason's
28,
was
yeah.
27.
Yeah.
This is, what is it? 28?
28.
28.
Cabrones.
I speak fluent Spanish, as you can probably tell already.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to now.
Say it.
No, it's inappropriate. Oh, they're going to say
Yeah,
it.
I mean-
say it. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not going to.
I mean, there are a lot of Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah.
Because looking at the analytics, it looks like a lot of people in like Colombia and places like that, they speak Spanish there, I believe, in Colombia, and or at least they understand Spanish as well as speak
Colombian.
it. Yeah, so they probably understand what the fuck you're talking about. Anyways,
Yeah.
what we're gonna talk about, at least for a jaunt, is we're going to focus a little more on some of the negative consequences
Oh, yeah.
of using illicit drugs. Now, I was looking at some statistics about this stuff because, statistics,
Yeah.
just like stonks, very important.
Stonks.
Stonks and statistics, very important. Very tight pants are very important.
Keep your pants
You
tight.
keep your pants tight and everything will be fine.
That's it.
Anyways, I think it was in 2017 was the last time that an actual study was done. But I think it's ramped up since then. But in 2017, 38% of Americans were in the throes of some sort of illicit drug addiction.
I was
And
thinking about it. I'm like, was I?
and 1 out of every 8 Americans were addicted to alcohol and illicit drugs
Yeah.
simultaneously,
Right.
which is a ridiculously large number. Because if you watch commercials, like 1 out of every, 4 out of 5 dentists recommend Colgate.
Yeah.
It's an impactful statement.
What is that other dentist like? What do you think he's like?
He just all natural. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Charcoal,
Yeah, yeah.
dirt,
Maybe he's
know what I mean?
maybe he's right.
mud.
Maybe he's right, people.
He uses Soylent Green.
There you go.
Is
Okay.
people is what he uses. But yeah, 38%. If you think about that, fucking close to half. You know what I mean?
True that.
12% more
Yeah.
is half. HALLF.
Half.
Half of Americans are addicted to fucking crack rocks and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
I don't think they counted weed in that because weed's not an illicit drug.
I don't see.
Like, I don't know
why.
exactly what they mean when they say illicit.
And just really
Makes
quick,
me
too,
think
like,
meth, coke, heroin.
if somebody out there is like, I'm addicted to weed.
Shut
I'm not
up.
saying it's whatever. That's if
You're
you
not
think,
addicted
if you
to
think
weed.
you have a problem with it, then fine. But it's weed, man.
You're not addicted to weed.
No.
Weed, like all the study, people can say, yes, you can have, emotional withdrawals,
Right.
withdrawals from the habit of doing, of the activity, the
like
ritual.
not being able to sleep and shit because you're so used to going to sleep baked.
That's a little bit different even.
Right.
But you don't, the actual definition of addiction or a disease, the way that they say that drug addiction is a disease is because of the consequences. The physical withdrawal, the physical symptoms and signs can tell a doctor, hey, this person has this disease that they can't stop using this drug and they're having this reaction. Weed, you don't have that.
Yeah.
Because I smoked weed heavily for many years.
Same.
Then a complete cessation for a few years while I was using harder drugs. But there was still a period of time, a couple years where I just drank. I didn't, and it wasn't every day, so it wasn't alcoholism or anything like that. It was like a weekend thing. But there was no weed use through that whole time, and never once experienced anything.
I don't think I ever really threw myself down the whole alcohol, whatever. Yeah, if I was drinking alcohol, I was always doing other things though. I wasn't just alcohol, and I'd be like,
Yeah, see,
I just want to drink alcohol.
Booze never did that type of shit to me. There's two completely separate types of people when it comes to drug addiction. There's the people that go full bore into drug addiction.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who are alcoholic induced. I know people that are in my extended family that the reason that their drug addiction took off was because the lowering of inhibitions through alcohol use brought them into the world where they're like, they would get a few drinks in and be like, I want to smoke some meth, you know? That's you know, it sounds super fun. Cracking up some shards. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Dude, I literally tell everybody this because they're like, are you ever going to go out to the bars or something like when you're on probation? I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't go out, drink one drink and be like, and not expect myself to be like, I want to go smoke shards. Yeah. And then after I smoke them, be like, yeah, I'm going to go do heroin and ruin everything.
Yeah. Well, because
that's just me.
That's the whole thing. We talked about it before, that once you fail, you feel that you failed by relapsing. You're like, snowball, fucking just make it bigger and bigger, make the problem bigger and bigger until you're fucking you're in prison or you're dead. And that's shitty.
Or you have a cold in the summertime.
Yeah. Okay. Because you shouldn't, nobody that's addicted to anything should feel that way about it. If you, like Leo Flowers said on the episode we had him on, he said with the food addiction thing. Yeah. Just come clean to a loved one. Like, yeah, I fucked up. I relapsed. I ate a bunch of shit, or I did a little bit of fucking heroin or meth or whatever I did. I know that it was wrong. And shit. Yeah. Hold yourself accountable. That way you can turn it around. You could fix it. Cause now because when you're in the addiction, I know that you've done it. I've done it. Everyone I know has done it. They'll lie about it all day. For sure. If you catch them ripping a foil right in front of you, they're just like, this is tea tree oil. Yeah. Actually, I have the bottles. Oh, I lost it. Most common thing is like, I'm just chilling. I'm just have it under control. Yeah, this is the first time I've done it in years. Yeah. I'm like, really? That's weird. I saw you shooting up yesterday. Yeah, I saw you at my crack den. Yeah, but it's during the addiction, you're like telling your family and friends like, oh no, I don't have a problem. And you're telling, you believe it too. You're telling yourself, I could for sure stop at a certain point. But then you get down the road further when you've tried and you're like, okay, this is starting to ruin my life. Yeah. I've now lost my job. I've lost, a significant other. My friends that actually cared about me are like, it's time for tough love, bud. I cannot continue to speak to you. Yeah. Give you any kind of positive attention because you're being a shitbag. And it's I've recently had to kind of deal with this situation. Yeah. And yeah, it sucks, especially coming from a place where I've been there. Yeah. But it takes that kind of thing to get you out of the mindset that, oh, I can handle this. I never truly accepted tough love, bro, till recently, bro. Before, well, yeah, because you kind of resent the person for it. And now I realize, like, what you're saying, you have to go through that. Like, that's something, now you're going through that on the other side of the, like, spectrum, I guess, right? Yeah. Where you're doing it to a homie, you know what I mean? You're giving them tough love. But it's weird, right? Like, it's just, not like in a weird way, but, like. It's always been a thing for me, like, helping somebody else through the same thing. Yeah, but helping somebody else through the same thing that I already went through, or even, like, even to kind of tie it to like music, teaching someone else how to play or teaching someone else how to sing or do anything like that, it's teaching you more, because the more you think about it and the more you put it into practice, the better you become at it. Yeah, that's how you are on the roof. A lot of the times we do the same shit all the time, but I see sometimes you're like, oh fuck, I could do this instead of. Yeah, you can always improve. Right. And that's like the science brain as opposed to the flat earth brain. Is science is always like, they say the words, this is a scientific theory. Right. Meaning this is a fact backed up by evidence. But people hear well, evolution's just a theory. Yes, dummy. But theory by itself from someone else is like, well, this is a conspiracy theory. Those things are not backed up by evidence. They're just said on the internet, which is hardly ever correct. It's all true. But scientific theory is a completely different thing. Scientific theory is the best word you can get that's the closest to the word fact. Because in science, you never want to be 100% because there's always something that can come after, and you don't want to be like, well, I lied. Yeah. Because now there's technically we figured out even more. So this is the scientific theory as far as the addiction goes.
Right.
Is that these are the steps that you need to take, and you need to take accountability, and
so would you
need
say
to
like
be
the
honest.
12-step book is kind of like a scientific method for, you know what I mean? Because
it's been tried. They had a hypothesis. They came up with a hypothesis. Right. This is the plan.
Or I mean, did they follow? You mean like?
But then people experimented.
Right.
Many people have gone through 12 steps. And then it's been tested over and over again by multiple people, which is like a double-blind study or a third-party test, which is like when a scientist comes up with something, they have to send their information to another scientist. They have to reenact the exact same thing and get the exact same results to make this into a fact.
Right.
And that's what the 12-step program did, that it's tried and true for the people that it works for.
Right.
But you have to be that kind of a person. And my only issue really with the 12-step program only has ever been, you have to give it up to a higher power. You have to give all of the credit to something bigger than yourself, and they want it to be God. But
yeah, I didn't go through the whole religious standpoint of it.
Yeah, and you don't have to, of course, and a lot of them will tell you don't. But a lot of them will tell you that you do. You have to give yourself over to Jesus.
Right.
If you have a person leading that group that is so hardcore on religion, they're pushing people away who could potentially be clean forever. And
that's why I feel like I was, I guess, blessed when I was in rehab, because like the people who there's my counselor, the person who was doing all my inventory, he was highly religious, and I always went in there and talked to him and questioned everything he said. But at the end of the day, he was like, "That's not you, dog. That's cool. You do, if whatever works for you, bro. Like honestly, you can."
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Because, like when I went into a couple NA meetings, and it was an AA meeting, but it was NAAA, whatever. Same exact thing. Same 12 steps. So on the whiteboard, they had written like step 1, Jesus, and I was just like, "Are you serious? Like
No.
Why can't my like giving the power over to like giving credit to something bigger than myself? Couldn't that just be the idea, like the collective consciousness of the universe that I'm now contributing a positive effect to? Why can't it be that?
It can.
Why does it have to be something that's tied to millions of murders and 4,600 other religions that they say are all wrong and they're right?
That's where I think these people are fucking ignorant, because like that, what you just said, what you just explained, if that's what you believe, right? And whatever, that's it. It shouldn't be Jesus. Like, no, it should. What do you believe? Like, you just explained that to me, I'd be like, okay, cool. We'll try to work a way around your steps like that.
And technically, you don't even have to do that, because that's the only part of the 12 steps that I have like an issue with as it pertains to the religious part. Yeah, is that why is it that everyone has to? They're like, number 1, you have to give credit to somebody else. Why? What if I find strength in that I'm doing this myself? Yeah. Why is it that I have to give credit where I don't believe credit is due?
See, and that's why people also tell you to run your own fucking program. Yeah. You run your own program, dude, and you do what you feel like is going to help you. Whatever you're doing, if it's helping you, then that's fucking it.
Especially if it's going to push some people like me away.
Obviously, too, like, because the fucking whole point of working the 12 steps is to fucking pay it forward, right? You're paying it forward to the next guy. And it's like, if you're pushing that kind of stuff on somebody, like, and they're trying to make them be your sponsee, they're going to probably be like, well, fuck. Yeah. Do I have to believe in that, or fuck? Am I doing it all wrong?
And some people will say, yeah, you have to.
No,
you have to do that.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, so either I believe in what you believe in, or I just go back to doing drugs. Yeah. Okay, cool. And they're like, yep. So here's a Bible, and
if you don't, you're a drug addict. So
yeah. Even if you stay clean, you're still a piece of shit drug addict. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's. I mean. I did the 12 steps, but it didn't cure me because I relapsed after the 12 steps.
Well, it's like you say every day. You got to choose to fucking stay sober every day.
You have to be ready. You can't force anybody to do anything.
That's the 12-step book is like a fucking guideline. That's your guideline right there.
But for me, like, I guess just not, like, obviously I understood the 12 steps. Yeah. And I agree with a lot of them that you should, you know, do your penance. You should make your apologies. You have to make your amends and do all of that good stuff and do the community work and pay whatever you can for it besides that. But I think that some people, if you choose to put yourself into the recovery program like I did, where you're getting an injection that stops you from being able to use drugs, that was just part of my recovery. It wasn't even a plan, but it was like, for some reason, I don't have the strength to just be like, I'm good. And that's the disease. And it can't be cured by a higher power for me. And for a lot of other people, NA don't work. They end up back on the street and they end up back in NA and then they're back on the street. And that's part of the deal. Rehabs tell you relapse is part of the deal. Yeah. So don't give up about it.
13th step, dude.
Yeah. 13th step is relapse. They always say that. Make sure you do that one. Yeah. It's almost like they want you to do it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, once I got to the point where I was like, I need to get onto Suboxone and just do this with medical help, because I've always been a bigger fan of science than religion, and 12 steps to me is the religion, and Suboxone and a doctor is the science part of it. Like, how do I change the way my brain works with medicine? And just like on a Family Guy episode where the kid had cancer and Lois was like, you need to get this kid medical help. And they're like, we don't do that. We're Christian scientists. And she goes, but what if doctors and medicine are just God's answered prayers? Why are you going to ask for his help if you're just going to wipe your ass with his response? This is the gift he gave you, or these people who dedicate their lives to helping people like you who did nothing for society.
I don't know why. That just reminded me of, like, I think there was, I can't remember what it was, but it was a couple, right? One of them there was supposed to be a vaccine coming out for something. And the guy was like, no, that's against our religion.
That's Mahatma Gandhi.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And
I told you about this.
Yeah. No, we heard about it on History Hyenas and shit. I remember him talking about it, but, like, that's just reminding me of the same thing.
I don't think they said it. I think Kurt Metzger said it. The History Hyenas glazed over that part. Yeah. They did talk about him sleeping with his nieces. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I think I told you the extra part while we were listening, because I was like, oh, they're not saying this part.
Yeah, but it's just like that.
He let his wife die of the disease that he was like, no, you can't get that vaccine.
And then he took it.
And then he took the vaccine later and lived to later die. Yeah. A complete asshole. Mm-hmm. And people look up to that man like a god, because he was like, I'm not hungry. That's like, he had it tattooed on his back.
I wasn't hungry.
Like thug life.
I wasn't hungry like 3 years ago. So.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's a great diet, but
the Jenny Crank diet?
Yeah, really bad for your skin. Like, there are some, and this is actually what we were trying to get to, is the consequences of addiction. A friend of mine had commented on one of our last ones with Mason, philosophize this.
Yes.
And philosophy these nuts. And she was saying about how she was talking about how we were having a conversation about, you know, the issues and things that come along with addiction that a lot of people don't think about, they don't care about, they don't know about. But there's a laundry list of medical issues that come along with an extended career of illicit drug use. And one of the ones for me was, I came out of it with sleep apnea. I came out of it with barely any testosterone in my body, because heroin and going through the withdrawals and everything just promotes estrogen and basically kills testosterone, kills free testosterone in your body. Plus a plethora of other things. Being on pills all those times, it messed my stomach up. My liver's probably toast. My kidneys. All of that shit is now garbage because of all the pills and everything that I did. Shooting up, drugs with water from God knows where,
Yeah.
You find a bottle in the street, you're like, this is probably water.
Perfect.
Hey, there's a rain gutter. It rained a couple weeks ago. We'll just pick these leaves out.
Yeah.
Just because you don't think about anything except
How
doing
can I get
that
high
thing.
right now?
You just need to get high because I can't feel sick. I'll literally die if I have to feel sick for 10 minutes. And that's why the miracle of Suboxone exists. But going through all that stuff, it's a lot easier to look back now and not think about, because people usually the first question people ask you about heroin is like, what does it feel like? And you have to tell them, I mean, it feels great.
It feels fucking amazing, dude.
Like, it's like your whole body's wrapped in a warm, squishy blanket. It's tingly, and all of the the bad emotions and all these bad things, they go away. Like they talk about in the Dewey Cox story, it's like
makes
the
all
cocaine.
your bad feelings into good feelings.
Yeah, cocaine. Cocaine never did that though. It just makes your nose bleed and your face numb.
Make you want to
and
tell
somebody your life story who gives no fucks. They're just waiting for their turn to tell you their life story that you don't give a fuck about. But no, and I mean, once you tell people I was a drug addict, and they're like, oh, how amazing was it? Because you obviously have to feel pretty good on it to ruin your fucking life.
Well, yeah.
It does feel good for a little bit, but it always, no matter what, gets to that point where it's maintenance now.
Yeah.
Now it's just another thing you have to do. You have to waste all your money on it. And when you don't get it, you feel so horrible.
Dude, I would not take care of myself until I got well. Like if I had money in the morning and I was dirty, I was like, I'm going to go pick up first, and then I'm going to come shower and brush my teeth. And
but then you go get high and you don't shower. And then your balls
then I nod
crust
out
over.
And that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you not give a fuck about anybody, anything. Your family members are dying. That's cool, whatever. I can go get drugs right now.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Fine. It's fine.
But there's always those times when you can't get anything.
Oh my God.
And you're just, most of your time, honestly, is spent on your phone.
Yeah, looking.
Just typing. Most people don't have phone service, so they're on Wi-Fi. I got to get to McDonald's so I can get Wi-Fi. I got to get to wherever to get Wi-Fi so I can text him. And then the person you're buying drugs off of doesn't have a payment plan, a plan on his phone, so he's on Wi-Fi with a number that he changes every week. Mm-hmm. And you get so used to that taking up your whole day that once you look back at all the time you spent and all you did was wait for a on your phone.
Bing.
You wait for that fucking Facebook message or the text or whatever to come through, and then you
scroll
go,
up and
let's
down
go.
until it would load.
Oh yeah, you just keep reload, refresh.
I'm getting anxiety thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Yeah, and it's fucking terrible. Yeah. And a lot of people still go through it, and a lot of people, if you talk to them, they're like, yeah, I wish I could fuck off. I wish I could get off of this shit. But there's nothing out here to help me. But there is. There is now.
Yeah.
It hasn't been around for long because when I got clean the first time, when I got sent to rehab and shit, there was nothing available in this town. There's still no rehab here.
Yeah, that's something that...
And usually you want to go to a rehab outside of your town because it's a lot easier to not think about having people bring drugs into you and shit like that. Which I know happens at rehabs all the time.
Oh, yeah.
If people go there from that neighborhood, they're just funneling drugs in and shit.
That's how it was in every rehab that I'd spoken to. Somebody was either like, oh yeah, someone just got kicked out because they had this. Or,
Yeah, and there's worse things that can come from, especially sharing needles.
Yeah.
You can get fucking AIDS. That's how, like in Rent, the movie Rent, there was the gay people, then there was the drug users. And then there was the guy who his girlfriend was a drug user and he had sex with her and he got HIV that way. But then you have Hep C, which is the one that's pretty much the majority.
It's the most common one, I think, when it comes to...
I knew plenty of people, and a lot of times they wouldn't warn you, and you do things like share a cotton or share a spoon.
I fucking got it now.
Yeah. And that's not really that surprising.
No.
Like, it was more surprising when a couple years ago when you were like, oh yeah, no, I don't have it.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was weird. Like, I was like, how the fuck? Because I remember when I went and got tested for it, they tested me for HIV and Hep C at the same time.
Same.
And they brought me into the room, and the lady was like, she got up close to my ear, and she was like, your test was negative. And I was like, you fucking bitch, dude. Yeah, I fucking knocked her out real quick. No, but it was terrifying, because even though it's something that's completely manageable and it's something that you can get rid of, not HIV.
I got told in jail, and they were like, so there's good news and bad news. And I'm like, what's the bad news?
The good news is the mother of your kid's dead.
They're like, the good news is you don't have HIV.
Oh, sick.
I was
Awesome.
like, okay, cool.
So
bad
what can
news?
the bad news be?
They're
Not
like,
that bad.
Yeah, they're like, you have Hep C.
Fuck, that kills you too. God damn it.
Slowly.
But there is a way to get rid of it. Yeah. And you're not taking care of it, but to each their own, you know what I mean? You'll fucking figure it out and shit like that.
No, I'll hit you up from the hospital, don't trip.
Yeah. When you're all like blotchy and red and fucked off from weird jaundice-y cirrhosis.
It's like, hey bro, I can't make it into work tomorrow. There's a very good excuse.
Yeah, I'm fucking dying.
Yeah.
Remember that Hep C thing I told you about 12 years ago that I never took care of? Fucking dead now.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, cool. You're fired. So you're fired. So who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Let's whoosh real quick, and then we'll change up the topic a little bit, so you don't have to keep hearing about drogas and all that jazz.
It's fine. It's fine.
And we're back. Yay. I say that like it was a really upbeat, hilarious conversation we were having before we come back. And then he died. Yeah. And we're back with Eva.
It's like what Brian Callen was talking about earlier.
Oh,
He's like, it's like, I'm about to go do a stand-up, and I'm talking to the mother and father of these... of a child that just passed away.
No, that was Brendan Schaub.
Oh, okay.
Brendan was saying, like, don't ever come here again with that energy. Yeah, of course not. But, that's why we classify this as a mental health addiction / comedy podcast.
And that shit's just... It's hard. It's the reality of things, though. And it is.
It's so hard to try to be funny all the time. Like, if you listen to comedy podcasts, a lot of them aren't funny all the time.
No.
They have their funny moments, but it loses all of its authenticity if everything you say is a fucking joke. I mean, YMH is good at it because they have the multimedia aspect of it. Real Ass Podcast is good at it because they always have other comics on there. Zach's super quick. Lewis always has good jokes. They make fun of Lewis a lot, and that makes it funny. But it's really hard to stay authentic and talk about real shit. And especially when you're trying to push some kind of a message.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, this podcast started off as a completely different thing. Yeah. It started off with no real direction because it was kind of just like a spur of the moment. I was like, hey, I want to start a podcast. And you were like, okay, cool, let's do it. Record. Yeah. And then we're like, so pooping, buttholes,
Joe Biden,
punching drywall, hooker pee. Yeah. He fucked a hooker. So like that stuff's, it's funny and all, but it's like there's stand-up comedy for that. And that's something that I'm working on. I'm still writing and trying to work that shit out. But it's like working out things like therapy, because if a person listening even kind of gets what we're talking about, they can relate whatever they're talking about to what we're talking about. And it's like the shared experience, feeling the relation between human beings. Like, there's, people are suffering here, or they're happy, or this conversation is even remotely fucking interesting. I can get my mind off of my shit for, an hour to an hour and 12 minutes. Yeah. And I would love to just consistently be hilarious, but I pretty much blow my load doing that during the day. Yeah. I crack jokes pretty much the whole drive to and from wherever our job's at.
If we were recording on our ways to and from, we would have a whole different podcast.
Which we've thought about how to do it, but there's no way to make it sound good because that truck is not very well
we
insulated.
Would need a very quiet vehicle, first of all.
Yeah. And
so we're not hearing
yeah, we have an exhaust leak in the truck. Like, it's a fucking nightmare. But also, I think the majority of people don't want to just hear dick and fart jokes and shit like that, because there's already plenty of that, and there's professional comedians to compete with, and it's like
dick and fart jokers.
Yeah, there's professionals who talk about dicks and farts.
Jokers. Stupid.
The Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
You know? Sal has a podcast with Chris DiStefano, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Chrissy D has his own podcast. Giannis Pappas has his own podcast. So the market there is pretty well taken up. The real estate there is pretty well taken up. And it's like, we both have experience with mental health and addiction, so why not talk about something like that? A lot of people don't get to hear this side of that type of shit. And you know, true crime podcasts, I think there's 800,000 podcasts last time I looked, over 800,000. 725,000 of them are true crime podcasts. Literally the fucking majority is true crime.
And they all talk about the same fucking thing most of the time?
Yeah. How many true crimes are there? For just an American podcast, there's probably 600,000.
What about the fucking false crimes, dude?
That's what I do. I have a false crime podcast called,
I have the false accusation podcast.
Yeah. And I just I go around. It's a man on the street podcast. I just go around and go,
Billy on the
you
street?
fucking killed her, you piece of shit. And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're going to prison.
It's like that Billy Eichner dude that I showed you.
Yeah.
Billy on the street.
Yeah. I see his shit pop up on Netflix and all. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
He probably has a podcast. Every celebrity has a podcast. So it's like, that's something to compete with too. They can just start a podcast and they can just go, hello, I'm who's a celebrity? I'm Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Hello, pay me. That's all he's got.
And then
that's
he goes,
all you got to say.
So I had lunch today.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. All right, I got to go do other shit that's way more important.
Yeah.
And then 75 million views
for sure.
in the first minute.
Then he's paid.
Yeah, and he has 1,000 sponsors. He's sponsored by
he just says this
government.
Pay me, and then you just hear him eating food.
He just goes, I'm Iron Man, bye. And then he leaves.
Then he says, I love you 2000.
And he goes, I was in Encino Man too. You forget about that shit, bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was like the dickhead boyfriend in Encino Man. Fucking great movie.
Robert Downey Jr.
That was another one of the reasons why we started, because I was like listening to all these people talk about, like, I'm sure that people in people in like the construction industry and normal people who aren't in show business, they think this way. They're all fucking idiots. And I'm sitting here like, I mean, obviously I know that they're joking and generalizing, and that's part of what they're doing, but they're right. There's not a lot of people that aren't famous already starting a podcast to just talk about what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So initially that's what we were like, let's just talk about what's going on. Then it was like, I don't fucking care what's going on.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
With that, some stuff that I see, I'm like, okay, well, shit. I kind of have a thought on that because it kind of pertains to things that I know about, like the Britney Spears thing that popped up.
Yeah.
Now,
Chris Crocker was right, dude.
Chris Crocker, he's like Minority Report, dude. He's Tom Cruise in Minority Report. He pre-thought crime that shit.
So many people have said this already.
And they were like, what's he talking about? Now they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So many people have said this already on podcasts.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking
And he did
true.
that before the conservatorship and everything, dude. So there was nothing.
Chris
it was
Crocker.
just, what's up, dude?
I believe you, bro. Always have.
For sure. He's hilarious, too. Chris Crocker's fucking hilarious.
Always have.
I watched some of his videos. It's been a while, though. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I watched it last weekend or whatever, sometime. I watched it at a time and on a day.
When I brought it up, I watched it like a couple days later.
Yeah. So a lot of it I kind of already knew about, but the whole idea that the judge gave the dad conservatorship when she was like
Yeah.
She went, She did a trick daddy, and they were like, well, fuck you. What do you know, you crazy bitch? And he banged a squeaky gavel. Yeah. Your dad has custody of you. Basically, you're a fucking child again. Why not give it to her mom or give it to that assistant lady she was a fucking awesome person.
And her mom actually gave
Sweet
a fuck
lady.
you?
Yeah, of course. The dad bailed.
Yeah.
And obviously all he cares about when she was a teen pop star was banging her teen friends who she didn't have.
Literally all he...
She wasn't allowed to have friends.
Remember what he said when like she was becoming... Like, my daughter's going to be famous one day. She's going to buy me a boat.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the lady that was talking about it, the talent agent. She was like, and that's all I want to say about him.
That's all you need to know, really.
Yeah, he's a fucking dirtbag.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
And then all this information has now been exposed by the New York Times.
Yeah.
So all this information's now out there.
What was the document called? Framing Britney, right?
Yeah, Framing Britney was the title of that episode.
Yeah.
And I think I just heard recently that a judge denied Jamie a raise. Basically, he was getting paid way too much already, and he was like, I need more because whores are expensive.
Yeah.
Because how young I want them, they're really expensive. Jesus. Shipping them here from the Philippines and whatnot.
Oh,
and how is it not like been taken on by... Because like how she wanted to get her own attorney. She's like, I have an attorney. And they're like, fuck that. No, you don't get an attorney. We're going to give you a state appointed. That never would happen.
No. Because
you can pay for an attorney in the state where you're at. You could pay for any attorney you want, no matter what your crime is. And they come and they just go, oh, fuck you. You're a public defender. Get out of here. You don't work on this case anymore. I work on this case because they hired me.
That's fucking crazy.
So and it had to have been the dad that was like, no.
He was like,
this guy who I have paid with your money is going to represent you.
Yeah.
Completely 100% fair. Everything's on the level. Trust me. Why not? Why wouldn't you trust me? I'm your dad,
yeah, why wouldn't
right?
you trust me?
Am I your uncle or your dad? Either way.
Who are you, Jamie Lynn?
Yeah. Which one are you again? Steve Lynn? Yeah. Fuck it. Who cares? But now that all this info's out, why doesn't a high-powered attorney, Laura Wasser, you know what I mean? She's a divorce attorney, but still, she knows law. Get out there. Yeah. Go, God damn it.
Go free Britney.
Britney needs out of this conservatorship, you motherfucker. Fuck. And then the judge will go, oh, yeah, for sure. Get a fucking new judge. They can throw the case out.
That's true.
Get a new fucking judge. You can always request that. But Britney's under this conservatorship where she has no rights.
Yeah, she has no say in anything.
This is supposed to be for a person who is completely out of their minds. Old as fucking can't control themselves and can't make rational thoughts. Britney Spears is not that. No. Clearly. She made some videos where things seemed kind of weird, but she's been locked in a home and treated like a fucking mental patient for years.
Dude, and when everything was going down, she was so fucking like thrown into the spotlight.
Oh, back in the day?
Yeah.
Of course, anybody would lose their fucking mind. To be Michael Jackson level famous
from hung blanket out of a window.
Being nobody, and then 2 weeks later. Because Michael Jackson had the benefit. Obviously, he didn't have a benefit. Michael Jackson was horribly mistreated for fucking certain.
Yeah.
So he was born into a family. Yeah. The dad, Joe, forced him to dance all day, not feed him, do all this horrible shit. Made him forced him to hate his face, so he had to, completely fuck his nose up, just massacre his face. Because his father just beat this into his brain that he was ugly and had a big nose and all this shit. But he grew up in the spotlight since he was a baby. Yeah. Britney Spears, she did the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, or Mickey Mouse, was that what it was? Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Whatever. So she did the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse thing when she was a child. Then everything was normal. She got a job and was a normal teenager, went to school and everything. Then she was performing at malls. Just, oops. Well, that song was not hit me, baby, one more time. Singing at strip malls with 13 people in the audience. Then, 2 weeks later, boom, TRL, blowing Carson Daly on TRL in front of the window.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson level fame. Michael Jackson fucked Michael Jordan. Britney Spears came out. That fucking famous. But their fame fucked each other. Fame fucking. Britney Spears came out. Most famous shit in the world for a teenage girl. Like, how could anybody fathom what the fuck that's like? Justin Bieber, he was kind of famous when he was a child as well. He got big on YouTube when he was like 10, playing the drums. And then Baby came out. He was like 12 or 13 or something.
Dude, all these people though, like they all envision that, right? Oh, paparazzi's gonna be wanting to take pictures of me, all this shit.
Horrible.
And then once you get there, you're like,
especially with how they were towards Britney.
Yeah, they were fucking horrible, bro.
Those are fucking vultures, Ethan Klein.
Yeah,
okay,
boy.
Like, I can't think of another person who was more mistreated by the paparazzo than Britney Spears. Britney Spears was basically savagely attacked. They drove her to the brink of insanity with this shit. She shaved her head because she was tired of people grabbing at her and fucking smelling her hair and wrapping it around their nuts. Whatever they did with it. I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm just saying that's what other people did.
That's what I did.
And then she did, what didn't she do, like America's Got Talent or something for a while?
I don't remember.
Which wasn't that long ago. She was on one of those fucking shows, a talent show of some sort. I think it was America's Got Talent. So she was on that show and that was not that long ago. Within a decade, I'm sure, or a little more maybe. But she was completely with it. Completely with it. You could ask her anything. Very smart, very professional, very articulate. Wasn't a fucking dummy at all. And you're telling me within a decade, a person in their 40s brain degenerated so far that they're incompetent to handle their own money. That's what the judge believes. The dad was able to convince a judge of this. That is fucking a banana and ham sandwich.
You know what I mean? There has to be something going on, but
of course. The dad blew the right judge.
There you go.
That's all. The dad blew the right judge. And Britney's got a boyfriend. And he's with it too. He's completely coherent as well as Britney is. And as far as the videos that people were all like, what the fuck? She just like walked into frame. Yeah. Smiled, did a couple turns on the catwalk.
Wear a black shirt if you need help.
A yellow shirt.
Yellow shirt.
And then the next one, she wore a yellow shirt. Of course she needs fucking help. Somebody go get her.
Yeah, what the fuck? Free fucking Britney.
Where is Shrek at, dude?
Leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney alone.
I'm just going to repeat that.
For real. But they need to leave Britney. They need to free Britney.
Alone.
I'm 100% with it. Free Britney alone. It's a new phrase. We're making hashtags and t-shirts. So hashtag free Britney alone.
Yeah.
FREEVE Britney alone. But yeah, I can't really think of any other moments where something like they kind of did that to Michael Jackson and shit like that. They kind of pushed him to the brink, especially once the allegations started coming out. But the way that they're talking about Britney and saying that she has these mental issues and things like that, I've known a lot of people that have had a varying amount and a varying intensity of mental issues. She does not strike me as the person that has them. The look in her eyes, she's coherent because you can tell when someone's not there.
Those fucking
with the lights are on and no one's home.
Yeah, those fucking videos too. Like she looks bored.
Yeah, like she's losing her mind. Okay, it's the same exact shit. Putting somebody in solitary confinement in prison is fucking torture.
Literally.
That should not be allowed. It doesn't rehabilitate anybody.
They lose all sense of themselves, bro.
There was that documentary. I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a documentary about a guy who was wrongly accused of a crime. He was put into solitary confinement for legit like 5 fucking years straight.
Oh, fuck.
To where he was losing his mind. And then he got out And then I think they loopholed him back into solitary confinement, and he fucking died. This is what they're doing to Britney Spears. They're locking her. She's been on this quarantine shit for a few years now.
Yeah.
This isn't just since March. This has been for a long fucking time. Put anybody in that situation and see if they don't go batshit insane. If I stay home for more than a day, I'm just like, who am I gonna fucking kill? Someone's gonna get it, and it ain't gonna be me. And what is she gonna do? Play fucking Call of Duty?
Yeah.
She's Britney fucking Spears.
Start
She
a
spent
Twitch
her life.
account that I would fucking subscribe to.
Of course. Start an OnlyFans, please.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Kind of. But no. She spent her life being able to fly wherever, get chauffeured around, go shopping, do all these normal things.
Yeah.
Now she doesn't have control of her own money. She's not allowed to go anywhere. She's completely locked into a situation where she's forced to now get in her own brain and just rewire everything wrong.
No.
She's not allowed to have therapy. At
What?
least let her have better help. She has her phone. She can post shit on Instagram or TikTok or whatever she's doing, but who's in control of all that? Is her dad making her put out these things like pretend that you're happy? Just
Like
making
he's got control of all the social... Probably, bro.
He has control of her money. I can't imagine that she has control over anything in her fucking life. So obviously everyone agrees. This isn't speaking out of school or saying anything, controversial. Britney Spears needs to be out of the conservatorship because this is enslavement.
Yeah. Literally.
It is literally enslavement.
Yeah.
She's being held against her will and being used for money.
Yeah.
That's enslavement. So, sounds illegal to me. You know what I mean? There should be like an age limit.
Sounds kind of iffy, bro.
Yeah, and shouldn't like a medical doctor of some sort have to have gone and, what's the word? When they
examine?
It's kind of like examine, but they're basically figuring out if you're mentally competent or not.
Right.
So they can go there, ask her questions, kind of like see her responses.
Oh, like a professional.
Yeah, a medical doctor can go in there, see what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, she's fine. What are you talking about? But now at this point, it's kind of, she's at a disadvantage because she's kind of going crazy because she's being alone for, she has her boyfriend and shit, but fuck, you can't spend that much time with your boyfriend. Dude,
what fucking kind of life is that? She's got a boyfriend and she's like, hey, what if she's like, I want to fucking take my boyfriend somewhere. Can't fucking do it. I want to buy my boyfriend something. No.
Well, he has to work. I don't even know, what the deal is. Can he take her places? Is she literally locked in her home?
Does she...
I know she's in California, so she's kind of...
And if she goes places, are there,
security? And
just a shit ton of people being,
I'm assuming that with that...
with
the level of fame that she has, there's no way that she's allowed to just, walk among humans.
If I could, I would be like... If I could get a hold of her, I'd be like, Brittany, let's go, on a Ferris wheel or something, and you know what I mean? Just take her out of her house and be like, let's go fucking merry-go-round.
To be totally honest, I had her first album. I got it. I got the Slim Shady LP and Britney Spears on the same day.
That's fucking hardest
I think
thing
it was
I've
for
ever
my
heard.
birthday.
It's hard.
And it was the first time my mom realized I wasn't gay because she was holding the CD, or I was holding the CD, and she was like, "Do you like her? Do you think she's pretty?" And I was like, yeah. Super weird and awkward about it.
Yeah, Mom, she's fucking bad.
I want to eat her butt, dude. Oh my God. You're a monster. Yeah. It is super depressing. It was not a fun watch, but it was definitely, it was entertaining and it was informative, and it was showing me that the justice system is as fucked up as I've always known it to be. And it's fucked up towards celebrities somehow.
I'm glad somebody, whatever, New York Times, right? I'm just glad at least they were like, I'm going to fucking release this, even though it's such a fucking tough thing to talk about, I guess, or a controversial thing to talk about.
Kinda. I mean, it's kind of out of left field, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really any kind of catalyst for this to just come out of left field like that.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I'm glad that it did.
Yeah, the fact that it's out there is good, dude. Because
I wonder how long they were like filming and shit for,
know.
or if they could get to Britney to like speak, because she wasn't in it.
I don't even think they did they?
No, she wasn't in it at this moment. They just had old footage of her.
Yeah.
Talking and shit like that, and how mistreated that she had been in the media when she was talking to what's her face, Diane Sawyer.
It was all good footage too, because it was pretty much like making the point of what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, the majority was talking about media mistreatment of her and the mistreatment by her father, and that he has ulterior motives, obviously. Mm-hmm. And that the interview with Diane Sawyer, where she was basically like, so you're a whore, right? Yeah. You have fake tits, you're a whore, you cheated on Justin, which is my boyfriend. Like, bitch, you're fucking 70 and you're still 70 20 years later? That's fucking weird. Yeah. And Britney started crying. Like getting grilled.
You said, remember we were just talking about earlier, the lady said that she would shoot Britney because of whatever, or some shit like that. Said if she...
Oh yeah, she would kill her.
Yeah.
She's like, if I could shoot her, I would.
Yeah.
Because...
For being what?
For being a woman?
Yeah.
Weird. A woman saying, I'll shoot a woman for being a beautiful woman.
Yeah, because she was saying that she was sexualizing herself or something.
Let her.
Who gives a fuck?
By that time, I think she had released Oops, I Did It Again. She was wearing a full red latex suit. Literally more clothes than anybody has ever worn. Her whole body was covered in a red jumpsuit. All these moms
are like, that's inappropriate. How do you know about that?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Whore.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, Christina Aguilera came out right after that with Dirty, where you saw her anus. You saw her colon. You saw her colon. Okay? And Britney Spears came out with
windows of her soul.
Yeah. Which is the inner sphincter at the top of her colon. And then Britney Spears came out with Toxic. And in the video, she just wore like kind of like a Poison Ivy type shirt and then pants, like leathery type pants. How is she more like, I don't get it. And then Christina Aguilera flipped a bitch and was like, I'm a 40s pinup model and shit like that. And then married a weird looking dude. Yeah. It was very strange.
Happens.
But yeah, we'll whoosh again and we'll come back with a completely different set of balls. You know what I mean? All right. So, last thing I want to talk about, it kind of refers back to what we were talking about in the very beginning. Well, not the very beginning, but the second half of the beginning. The consequences of drug use and the sleep apnea thing. Mm-hmm. Now, I know a couple other people that have sleep apnea. Most of them are older or they're, obese, technically. But then Mason, who was on, he has sleep apnea. And now mine is getting increasingly worse, which I guess at this point I'm kind of thinking that I can attribute it to the Suboxone. So yeah, with the Sublocade, at this point it's a matter of, does the risk outweigh the reward? Yeah. So even at this point, with how many injections I've had, they have told me that it'll last fucking a year or two into the future. So even if I didn't continue getting shots, I still have to deal with it for 2 fucking years. So if it is that, I'm pretty much boned on it, and I kind of have to deal with it because sleep apnea comes with much greater side effects than anything else. Because, having sleep apnea, the oxygen level in your blood goes down. Your sleep isn't great. It can lead to strokes and heart attack, which are, things that can fucking kill you.
Which are fucking bad.
Yeah. So, that's a bigger problem than pretty much anything else that I have to deal with. Like yours is the Hep-C, a tall glass of Hep-C.
All I wanted was a Pepsi, though.
His name is Mike, and all he wanted was a Pepsi. and he got Hep C.
God damn it.
So it's basically like asking for a Coke and getting a Diet Coke.
Fuck.
Like
It's like asking for a Coke and getting a Pepsi.
It's like asking for a Coke and getting hepatitis C. Yeah. But yeah, Hep C can be cured.
Yeah.
And sleep apnea can't really be cured. And now at this point, I don't even know if it is the Suboxone. I just know that I didn't have it before, and then it started. But it's also, I started the testosterone because my testosterone levels were so low, and I started the Sublocade.
That's weird. And you got to go do that, the sleep, the overnight thing, huh?
I'm going to have to go to a place and sleep at a fucking doctor's office, basically.
Did they give you like a teddy bear or something?
They showed me the bed. There's a bed, and I sleep, and then they're like, they put electrodes on you and the thing on your finger and the strap around your chest that checks your breathing.
Damn, it's gonna be like you got abducted by aliens and shit.
I've had to wear it before, but I took it home. But now they're gonna have a guy just sitting at a computer
like this,
and he's not gonna be in the room with me. He's down the hall. So he's down the hall looking at a monitor, and then it's gonna go boo when I stop breathing. And then he's going to go, all right. Then he's going to walk in there.
Slowly.
He's going to take his fucking time. He's going to go take a piss. He's going to take a shiz.
Make a sandwich.
He's going to make a PB&J, and then he go, fuck, I want a bologna. Make another one. And then he goes, God damn it, I wanted to use the whole wheat bread. Makes another one. So 3 sandwiches later. Then he comes in. I'm fucking dead. Yeah. Boom, defibrillates me.
Wake up.
Then they put a CPAP mask on me, and there's 3 different kinds. There's the over the nose, the over the mouth, and the over the nose and mouth. Then they have to fuck with pressure, whatever, back and forth to figure out where the sweet spot is. And it's continuous positive air pressure is CPAP, continuous positive air pressure. So it's forcing air into your nose or mouth to an airway opening, and it's just opening the airway for you with positive air pressure, and it's constant. So it's not comfortable at first. It's something that definitely has to be kind of acclimated. But at this point, I wear a mouthpiece, and I had to acclimate to that, and it was a pain in the ass. But I'm also getting invisible braces. I'm going with Bite, the Bite in the Bite aligners. Because of the hyperbite thing and the smile assurance and all that shit, it made it a better choice
Vibrator.
for me. Yeah, it came with a vibrator and shit. So, yeah, maybe I'll get sponsored by Bite.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Bite? I'll do a video for you guys if you want to hook it up. And it's really not that expensive. It's like $79.99 a month, whatever. But I can't wear the mouthpiece with the Bite aligners. Because then for another year or so after that, I have to wear a retainer at night. So I won't be able to wear the mouthpiece for that either.
So you're in a fucking pickle and not the
one you
twist.
Real pickle. No, not a 10-2 pickle. I'm in a real, like a baseball pickle.
Yeah.
A rock and a hard place is another way to say that.
Yeah, boy.
But they call it a mandibular device is the mouthpiece. It just holds your bottom jaw forward. But now at this point, it's progressed to the point where it's obstructive sleep apnea.
Oh, fuck.
So I wake up like not breathing,
Jesus.
Which is fucking terrifying because then I wake up in the morning with my alarm and I'm just like dying. I can't fucking stay awake. Like I'm exhausted all the time. Yeah. I'm exhausted right now. And that's how it was before when I found out I had sleep apnea. So hopefully all that shit gets solved. Hopefully the Bite aligners make me beautiful. You know what I mean?
You're fucking beautiful, bro.
I don't have, I know that it's hard to see from this far away, but I have crowding. My teeth are crowded and all fucked up. This tooth's back. This tooth's forward. I might do a video about, how they work. Cause I've watched a lot of the other people's videos about Bite and
explain it a little better. Probably.
Yeah. There's some that I'm just like, fuck, I wish they would show this, and they don't. Like, I want them to, be more consistent with it or explain it differently. They just stand there and they just talk. And I'm like, where are they?
This here.
Yeah, they don't even do that. They're just like, yeah, so
They're talking and then it goes.
They go, I got Vitaliners. What's up?
They're talking and it goes whoosh and it's just them with the thing in there and it's vibrating. Zzz.
They don't even show that either.
And then they're like, okay, done.
I haven't really found one. I found one where the guy's just like, you do this, and he didn't do it. I was like, show the process, you know. And then they're like, I'll show every week. I'll show the update, and then it's every 3 months.
Ooh, I
and
already
I'm
found
like,
a perfect
come on,
transition
bitch.
for the beginning.
What? Change from a guy to a girl?
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
No, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh. What was it seriously though?
It was like perfect way to start it. You're like, because you know how they talk. Here's a charger.
Yeah.
Shit's already charging. You're like, video start. I don't know. It looked cooler in my head.
Smoking trails.
The idea sounded way cooler in my head.
Yeah,
It's
Morgan
like,
Freeman was
dope.
announcing it. Yeah, but so yeah, I might do that just to have a different type of content on here because like I post the music stuff on our page and I post the podcast.
You know what we should do? We should test out stuff that you see on TV. Like, have you seen the ab machine that you put on your stomach and it
The electrode ones?
Yeah, super off topic, but that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
be hilarious.
I mean, there's a lot of review things. We could do reviews and shit like that. Because really, it's just people that have funny reactions to shit, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I get angry. Yeah, but I definitely want to. Once I get the bite aligners, I'll probably post a video, and then if people give a fuck, I'll update. But other than that,
bite.
Yeah. Because you can hashtag bite on YouTube now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was episode number 28. We covered, the consequences of addiction. We covered some recovery type stuff. Talked about 12 steps. We talked about Suboxone. Don't even fuck with methadone. It's not worth it. I mean, if that's the only option available, I guess it's better than being on drugs, but not really.
No.
You know what I mean? Suboxone's a much better way to go. And it's actually has a specific plan to get you off of it and get you back being a normal member of society and productive member of society. And it doesn't fuck you up like methadone does. I've seen people slumped over on methadone years down the road, and it's just not fucking worth it. Also, check out my music on the YouTube page. Posted 2 more songs that's just me playing guitar and singing. Actually, one of them is me playing ukulele and singing, and it's the Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis, but it's the 21 Pilots version.
Love it.
So I did that, and I posted a Smoking Popes. Pretty pathetic. But other than that, click that button down there. And don't forget about this right here. Toby Morse, what's up? And what's that, guys? John Joseph.
Yeah, John Joseph.
Joseph. Shout out to John Joseph. And thanks for watching episode 28
28
of the Still Poking Up Podcast. Talk about balls. Let's get rid of one ball. You know what I'm saying?
Bitch.
Still fucking up. Still fucking up.